team, we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Welcome to the show, guys. It is Wednesday, August 17th, 2011. This is Down the Rabbit Hole, and I'm your host, Popeye from FederalJack.com. Thanks for hanging with me tonight. And tonight I've got a show that you probably won't find anywhere else. Not many places, anyway. Not many in the alternative media want to discuss what I'm going to discuss tonight. And I can understand some of them, the trepidation behind it, because they don't want people to use that as ridicule and say, ha, 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 see, and point and laugh. But because of current events and things that are going on, it's an issue that must be talked about. So tonight I will be discussing Project Bluebeam, the fake alien invasion planned by the New World Order, and I will be discussing, there will be UFO discussion in there. So tonight's topic is not going to be, ooh, I think little green men came down and, did this or did that, or I got abducted. None of that crap. Where I'm going to talk to you seriously about a plan that exists. And I'm going to show you all the hype and all the stuff that they've been putting in the media talking about this. Because they've been hyping it and hyping it and hyping it. And it's been talked about before. Okay, the late Werner von Braun mentioned this, and I'll get into that. Joining me tonight, many of you know. If you don't, you'll get to know her today. But many of you already know her. She hangs out on Jimmy's show, and she and her husband are the strength and backbone behind the Orion Talk Radio Network website. So because the website that you guys are on right now, the Flash player you're listening to this on, everything that you see, she is responsible for. So I'd like to give a standing ovation to my good friend Jules. Hi, Jules.
Hi, Popeye. How you doing?
Good. How you been?
Oh, great.
So I contacted you the other day, and you and I were discussing this, and we were going back and forth, and you were showing me what you had found, and I was showing you what I had found, and it's really freaky and creepy to see how the mainstream media is actually playing this up right along with, the Discovery Channel and the History Channel and the Military Channel. They're all been playing all these alien invasion stuff, and TLC, all this stuff. So
yeah, they sure have.
They're pushing something out. They're obviously pushing for us to. They're prepping us for something. Now, when you go look back. And you, in fact, in the chat room, I placed a couple videos for the people to the people to be able to read and look at, or I shouldn't say read, I should say listen to and look at. And then there's corresponding stuff that you can look up and go read articles and stuff on the internet that are related to the videos that I put up. 2 of the videos are the mainstream media talking about it and hyping an alien invasion, and the third one is a video that I did. And it shows you the MSNBC clip with Michio Kaku, which many people know who Michio Kaku is. He's that theoretical physicist that they always have on to talk about everything from dead birds to Fukushima to alien invasions and everything else. So, long story short, he went on and he was hyping with MSNBC the whole alien invasion thing. So, in it, he was pushing his own show, but he was really pushing the whole alien invasion. And then the next day, CNN comes out with Paul Krugman, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, saying that to fix the economy, the government should fake an alien invasion, and then after like 18 months say, hey, we were wrong, which I'll play the clip for you, okay? And then next day, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow's talking about it. And while this is going on, Discovery has a special on how we're going to get invaded and how the aliens would attack us and they would cause tidal waves and wipe out people, and then they would use bioweapons to finish us off. There would never be like a boots on the ground. There might be some boots on the ground, but to finish us off, it wouldn't be a foot-to-foot battle. And then Michio Kaku says on MSNBC that we would be overwhelmed within the first 9 minutes of and that's something they expand on in the Discovery special, that we would be overwhelmed because there are so many millions of years ahead of us and technology and everything else. And they're pushing it that, hey, it's going to happen. Now, if you read about Project Bluebeam, they discuss in there using special technology, including HARP and other things, to project holographic images of UFOs into the sky. And the other half of it is to project images of whatever religious savior happens to be the dominating religious savior of that part of the world. So, like in South America, they would put, probably the Virgin Mary or Guadalupe, something like that. Which, if you go look up, has already happened. They like 2 years ago, people were recording this, trying to record it, and it was like this huge bright light that the cameras were only picking up. But people were, thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people were freaking out at the same time. It was all over the newspapers. Again, they have the technology to do this. Back in 2008, in the 2008 election, CNN showed you in your face. They took a newscaster, a female that was in one part of the country, and they put her inside a Wolf Blitzer's studio via hologram. She was a 360-degree hologram.
I remember that.
And you can't tell me that the technology doesn't exist. We would be arrogant to think, oh, they would never do that. Of course they would. Right? The late Wernher von Braun, Nazi rocket scientist, first head of NASA, when he was dying, he confided in a friend of his who he worked with, and I forget her name right now off the top of my head. It's in the video I made. And she explains, and she's explained this numerous times, how he came to her and told her that there would be different, there would be different things, different cards they would play so that they could weaponize space. Because once they weaponize space, then they can get you anywhere on the planet. And they're going to use eventually it would lead towards the one world government. And Wernher von Braun told her first it would be the Russians, then it was going to be terrorism, then it was going to be rogue states, then it was going to be asteroids, and then it was going to be an alien invasion. Now, what have you seen? What have you seen over the past 10 years Okay, the Russian thing was back in the 70s and the 80s. What have you seen over the past 10 years? Big bad terrorism, big bad North Korea. They've been talking about an asteroid hitting the planet since before 9/11, but they've really hyped it since within the past 10 years. Every time you turn on the channel, oh my God! You know, before 9/11, you had Armageddon and Deep Impact. And then now you have Independence Day, you have The Day the Earth Stood Still, you have all these alien invasion movies. They're programming you, getting you ready for something. We'll pick it up on the other side. We're going to break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. All right, to answer the question that I've been asked hundreds of times, and I've answered this before, but since this show is about it, I will specifically answer this question so everybody understands. Okay, yes, I do believe that there is other life out in the galaxy. Do I pretend to know what it is? No. Do I believe that there is some creative force in the galaxy as well? Of course I do. Something created us, something created them. So, you know, this energy and our spiritual energy, our soul has to go somewhere. That's a completely different entire show by itself. The point is, I know that there is some sort of creative energy. Do I believe it's some old man sitting on a stool or a chair or a throne with some stone tablets telling me what I can and can't do? No. Do I believe it's some dude, you know, called Buddha? No. Do I think it's, you know, do I believe like the Muslims? No. Do I believe what the Jews believe? No, I don't, because I don't believe anybody's got it right. I think everybody's been led astray, and I think the only people that really have the knowledge to what's going on and the way things are these elitist scumbags. Okay. Now, we would be very arrogant to think that we are the only life in this entire universe, and science is even admitting that there are now multiple universes. Okay. So to think that humans are the top of the line and that's it, that's highly arrogant. Okay, it's very arrogant. If we're the top of the food chain, then God was smoking crack when he made us, okay? And he's not too bright. And whatever creative energy, for lack of a better term, when I just said God, but for whatever creative force there is, whatever you want to call it, okay, I don't believe. I from what I know about things and my understanding, I don't believe that we have like some redneck god sitting around in a pair of cutoffs making things. Okay, that's what would have happened if we were the top of the food chain. So no, we're not. Of course, there's got to be other life out there. If you look back in the Sumerian texts, you know, the tablets that have been translated and everything else, and you match it up with all these ancient cultures, the Mayans, the Hopi Indians, all around the world. Okay, everybody, the Aztecs, they all had similar stories. They all talked about winged serpents or serpents and all this stuff, creatures coming down from outer space and giving them knowledge and helping them and all this other stuff. And they would sacrifice people to these creatures as gods. Okay, all this stuff goes back thousands and thousands of years. Yet today we say, well, that was all hyperbole and story. None of it is real. Well, how arrogant are we to say that? We don't know that. That's something that's being spoon-fed to some moron at a university level, and he's spoon-feeding it on down. And that's what the mainstream media feeds you. Now, do I believe that aliens are going to invade and take us over? No. I believe they came here thousands and thousands of years ago. So there's no reason for them to invade and take over humans because this is first contact. Please. If you go read with the Sumerian tablets, they talk about gene splicing and genetic manipulation. And we say that's just hyperbole and story. How the hell did they know about gene splicing? We just figured it out, for Christ's sake.
It was 5,000 years ago.
Right. How arrogant is that? Right, Jules? I mean, don't you think that's the height of arrogance to say that we're the only... And again, I'm not saying that there's little green men or little grays or reptilians or whatever the hell everybody else is. I don't know what it is. But I know there's more than just us. Okay? There's too much documented evidence. You know, you and I were talking about this the other night. There's just too much documented evidence over the past 5,000 years, let alone in the past 100 with the way technology has allowed people to take photos and video.
Right. It's across the whole planet. I mean, throughout, even go beyond, go to ancient India or ancient China. You know, they had all kinds of stories about flying Vimanas in India and the ships that landed on the shores of China with these creatures that got
that's
out.
their religion. I mean, you want to make fun of people, okay? Everybody wants to be arrogant in this country. Oh, we're so much better, blah blah blah. There are no aliens. Well, people like India, right? You know, because you know somebody from India. Maybe you've worked in India, whatever. Oh, we love India. India's a great country, Popeye. Well, you know what their religion believes? Their religion, and this is what everybody mainline believes over there, that their gods had space battles and flying ships called Vimanas. And they had like epic Star Wars fights. Where do you think Star Wars came from? The story of Star Wars came from those stories. What's his name? George Lucas. He was inspired by that stuff. I'm telling you, go watch the History Channel's. You can watch the show, but watch the hour-and-a-half special, Ancient Aliens, and they talk about a lot of stuff in there. Okay, and again, I don't pretend to know whatever other life is out there, but when they come on the mainstream media and say, oh, the only life out there would be like microprotoplasms. Oh, okay. So humans are the top of the food chain, but then on the other side, they're, oh my God, we're going to get invaded by aliens that are way more intelligent than us. Be afraid, be scared. We need to have a world government. Now, yes, a world government might like Star Trek or in the Halo series, because Halo's the same way. Okay, the whole world got together because they got invaded and we got attacked by, alien races and all this other stuff. And it's the same thing, okay? It's pushing this idea that we need a world government. Now, look, don't get me wrong. If we could get along with everybody on this planet and all work as humanity, I'm all for that. You guys have heard me say many a times, I'm all about love and humanity and hope and all that. But you can wish in one hand and crap in the other and tell me which one weighs more. So I'm realistic. I'm not stupid enough to believe that right now we're evolved enough spiritually, including these elitist scumbags. Nobody, maybe we are on the lower end, according to them. Maybe we're the people like truthers and stuff like that, the people that are out there seeking this stuff, okay, even if you don't know anything, but you're just seeking it because you feel it, we are going to push that change of spirituality. And until we enlighten ourselves, we can't have a world government. You know why? Because some dick will want to rule over it, and he'll say, well, I don't like brown people, or I don't like yellow people, or I don't like white people, or I don't like Asian people, or I don't like whoever. And that group will get wiped out, and then it'll be the next group. And then they'll always – people like that are sociopaths. And until we can get beyond that, until we can get beyond this need to these elites, they sacrifice people, blood ritual and everything else. We need to get beyond that, because if we create a world government, these are the scumbags that are going to be running it. I'm all for exploring outer space. I'm all for exploring inner space and the oceans and everything else. Believe me, I don't want to bomb anybody in this country. Okay, I don't want to bomb anybody in another country. I don't want other countries to bomb us. I don't want my friends going over to foreign countries to get bombed by people that are defending themselves. Okay? War is crap. War is BS. It's to keep us broken up. So yeah, I'm all for a unified utopian world government where we all can get along and work together. But until we evolve past trying to control one another, it ain't going to happen. That's just the way it is. We have to be realistic about it. And I've had some people comment on the one video I made. Well, you wouldn't want peace? Of course I'd want peace, you moron. But the problem is the people that are proposing this idea aren't peaceful. They want to wipe out 80% of us. And they can't do it with everybody being willing. So they need to scare the crap out of you, your mom, me, everybody. They need to scare the pants off everybody. They need to keep you in fear because you do not think when you're afraid. That's what this is all about. I've said this before. Fear is one of the most powerful tools in their arsenal. And as soon as we get rid of that fear, it's much easier to defeat them and see what's going on. Fear as I've said the litany of fear. I've recited it. Is the little mind killer. It brings total obliteration. You must turn your inner eye to see its path. And when it's gone, there will be nothing, and only you will remain. Look up the litany of fear. No fear, only love. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. I was fired up last segment. But you got to get fired up. Right, Jules?
Right.
You got to get angry. You got to get pissed. You know, I don't want you guys falling for this crap. I don't want my reality changed because everybody falls for this crap. You know? Yes, they are planning a false flag alien invasion. I suggest you go on YouTube or Google, and you can YouTube search Project Bluebeam, and a ton of videos will come up. Some stuff I've put up will come up. Tons of stuff others have put up, and it'll explain everything in detail. Okay? It'll explain what's going on. Now, I gave a brief description in the first segment of it, but this is real. I mean, Von Braun talked about it, and her first name was Carol. I just don't remember. I'm looking up her. Dr. Carol Rosin, I think. Yeah, Dr. Carol Rosin. And she's an aerospace executive. I don't know if she still works there, but at the time, in the video I made, I put in the chat, it's called Michio Kaku Hyping Alien Invasion. As corporate media says, alien threat would help global governance. Now, you can just go to my YouTube channel, Federal Jack Tube 6, and it's there. But Dr. Carol Rosin, and at the time she was an executive at Fairchild Industries. And, you know, she's been in aerospace industry for, you know, I don't know, 25, 30 years now. She got involved back in the 70s. And Von Braun told her, as I said, it would be the Russians, it would be terrorists, it would be rogue nations, it would be asteroids, and then an alien invasion. And all of it would be a lie. Every last bit of it would be a lie. And it was about weaponizing space. Now, interesting that, you know, you have Michio Kaku on MSNBC, you have this, Jules, what was the name of it? Curiosity?
Curiosity, yeah. That's the show that Kaku is doing now on Sundays on Discovery Channel.
Okay, yeah, that's that, and it was like every week they cover a different topic, and this week was alien invasion and what would happen. And right afterwards on CNN, you got Paul Krugman, who, like I said, he's a Nobel Prize winning economist, and you have him. Now, this is the clip. It's about a minute and a half long. It's him, Fareed Zakaria, who is a commentator on CNN, and he's a globalist douche, and us, meaning us from Federal Jack and We Are Change Tampa, confronted him about 2 years ago. And everybody, we did actually a pretty good job. The videos are up on YouTube, and we worked it so that when one person got thrown out, the next person would stand up. We did a good job. Anyway, it's him, Krugman, and the third guy, I forget, but they're discussing the economy. And about 30 seconds in is when Krugman starts to talk about this. Check this out.
Infrastructure spending, if it were well spent, that's great. I'm all for that. I'd borrow for that, assuming we're not paying Boston big dig kind of prices for the infrastructure.
But even if you were, wouldn't John Maynard Keynes say that if you could employ people to dig a ditch and then fill it up again, that's fine. They're being productively employed. They pay taxes. So maybe Boston's big dig was just fine after all.
Think about World War II, right? That was actually negative social product spending, and yet it brought us out. I mean, partly because you want to put these things together. If we say, look, we could use some inflation, Ken and I are both saying that, which is, of course, anathema to a lot of people in Washington, but is in fact what the basic logic says, it's very hard to get inflation in a depressed economy. But if you had a program of government spending plus an expansionary policy by the Fed, you could get that. So if you think about using all of these things together, you could accomplish, a great deal. I mean, if we discovered that space aliens were planning to attack, and we needed a massive buildup to counter the space alien threat, and really inflation and budget deficits took secondary place to that, this slump would be over in 18 months. And then if we discovered, whoops, we made a mistake, there aren't actually any space aliens.
So we need Orson Welles, is what you're saying.
No, there was a Twilight Zone episode like this in which scientists fake an alien threat in order to achieve world peace. Well, this time we don't need it. We need it in order to get some fiscal stimulus.
There you go. There you go. You have a Nobel Prize winning economist saying on mainstream media, CNN, for Reed Zakaria's program, flat out saying we should fake an alien invasion to stimulate the economy. Because did you hear what he said? Nobody would care about deficit spending then. So see what he's saying? That's very important to listen to that whole clip. That's why I played the whole clip and not just I wanted you to hear the beginning too, because so you could hear everything that was said. Okay?
Well, what's interesting too, Popeye, is that if you've been watching things that Panetta's been saying lately, he's saying that defense budget cuts are completely off the table. He is not going to allow them to touch defense spending, and he wants them to go after Social Security before they ever touch that.
Yeah,
so,
and Obama agrees with him.
Right. So if we had an invasion, that would be a perfect opportunity to make sure that we increased defense spending.
Exactly. Well, that's why he said it. The debt ceiling, deficit spending, none of that would matter if we were threatened with an alien invasion. And then 18 months we turn around and say, oh, we were wrong. But within that 18 months, you could finish creating this tyrannical prison planet, which is on their schedule. Notice how he said 18 months? Mm-hmm. When's the end of 2012? It's August. It's about 18 months away, right? Give or take? Maybe a little less, maybe like 16 months?
Yeah.
So he just magically throws out this number. He's trying to tell you what they're doing. See, they throw it in your face. They're letting you know. It's like a big F you. They're telling you they're going to fake something, okay? And maybe not little like 9/11, because 9/11 would be little in comparison to faking a worldwide alien invasion, okay? So don't look at something smaller like 9/11, so where it's to one region. Look for something global. Educate yourself to Project Bluebeam. I'm not kidding. Tell your family, tell your friends. Yes, Popeye believes aliens do exist, but he does not believe they're going to invade us now and take us over. What I do believe is that it's the scumbags in our government that are going to fake that to bring about a one-world government, just keep ramrodding spending through, because they know people are tired with the wars. They can't justify buying more bombs, bullets, and rockets because everybody's tired of their kids dying or coming home crippled and not having any goddamn money. Our infrastructure is falling apart, but we can bomb the hell out of things. Leon Jesuit Panetta comes out and says, hey, I'd rather tell them that we need the defense spending, Social Security, veterans benefits, and everything else. Screw the old people and screw the vets that got hurt. We need to keep spending money because we need to keep killing innocent people because we are the New World Order. That's what Panetta said. That's what he said. Okay? When you say that Social Security should be cut before defense spending, defense from what? There is no oogity-boogity man. Aliens have been here for thousands of years, so they're not going to invade. They've already been here. If you believe what the Sumerians say, they genetically manipulated us. And if you understand why they push this end of the world crap, it's to create fear. It's to keep that fear vibe going. It's to scare the living crap out of you so that you'll do anything. Just protect me from the commies. Now protect me from the terrorists. Now North Korea. Oh, Christ, an asteroid. Oh, alien invasion. Just make it stop. And the whole time they're bombarding you from every angle with harmonics, with electronic wavelength energy. They're hitting you with crap from the TV. They're hitting you with crap in the music to keep you afraid. They want you in fear. They want you to be afraid so that whatever BS little shenanigan they pull off, they can go, you see, we told you. Come to me, my children. I am government. I am all-knowing and all-protecting. Bullshit. And yeah, I said it. I don't care. Screw the government. They don't protect you. The cops don't protect you either. You protect yourself, and then they're to come clean up the mess. Government's only position and only job in reality is to make sure that your rights don't get trampled on. Okay, it's a tool. It's like a hammer. And the wrong people have the hammer, and instead of building a house with it, they're going around bashing people's brains in with it. We need to take the hammer back. And if that means some of them have to get their brains bashed in, well, oh well. Some of them are going to have to get judged anyway. Yeah, I know. People say, oh, no eye for an eye. BS, okay? They're telling you right in your face they're going to fake an alien invasion or another false flag terror event. Now you got Obama coming out last night on Wolf Blitzer. What does he say on Wolf Blitzer? I'm afraid that we're going to have a guy with a single gun running around, a lone nut attack for the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. He just, what is he? Got ESP now too? We're going to break. We'll be right back. Think about what I'm telling you. They're trying to scare the crap out of you.
Now I realize that Uncle Sam was not befriending me. He was only using me to be friends with the enemy, a presidential terrorist. Ain't that a contradiction? I guess it goes to show the truth is stranger than fiction. But they don't even show the truth when soldiers are missing. I'm only trying to show the truth.
Welcome back, guys. This is the final segment of the Wednesday, August 17th edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. And I've been discussing Project Bluebeam and how they're going to, the government's talked about faking an alien invasion. People on mainstream media are talking about it. Project Bluebeam. Really quick, go the Watchmen movie and the book talk about this. The Outer Limits episode from 1963 where they fake an alien invasion for peace. Ronald Reagan talked about it in the 80s at the UN and on our news and to Gorbachev, and he told Gorbachev that, if the aliens invaded, you and I would have to be on the same team, and Gorbachev agreed that the Russians would team up with the United States. And go check out the Illuminati card game by Steve Jackson Games. The Illuminati card game by Steve Jackson Games. And when you see all the cards, you can see it on Google or YouTube or whatever. When you start to see the cards and you see what's been happening, especially over the past 10 years, it's really creepy. And in there, they talk about a fake alien invasion and Project Bluebeam and everything else, and trying to bring about a one-world government. They show pictures of the World Trade Center being attacked and the Pentagon being attacked. And, in fact, one of the top sections of one of the towers is blowing off and falling sideways in the picture, and the explosion looks almost identical to when the towers started to I think it was Tower 1 was the one with the antenna. When Tower 1 went down, it looked so similar to it. It's just very creepy. So go check out the Illuminati card game by Steve Jackson Games. And check out the story about Steve Jackson and all this other stuff and how he was raided by the government when he put the game out and all this other stuff. So who knows? I've also seen when we checked it out, Steve Jackson's website, it turns out, is hosted by a company, and I don't remember exactly how, whether they own it or someone in the family owns it, but someone in the Bush family owns this, I guess the hosting company. And that's where the website for his server was on, or the server for his website was owned by the Bushes and connected to them one way or another. But I don't remember the exact details because it's been a couple of years since I remember first reading about it. But you can go check it out. And there is a ton of predictive programming. Do I believe that it's all fake? No, I believe that there are some events probably occurring in the universe that are going to affect our planet. And that rather than tell us the truth, they jerk us off because they feel that we're retarded and that we can't handle the truth. Remember, they look at us like cattle. They call us the dead, for Christ's sake. So they don't think that we're capable of handling this. Because they think there would be mass panic in the streets and everything else. So maybe if they explain things fully and how we could deal with it and move on, there wouldn't be such mass panic. But they never do that. They create the problem. They hype it, they keep secrets, and then when they come out, they hit you with a fear bomb. Oh my God! Whoa! Now, during the break, Jules, because we only got a few minutes left, you were telling me something really interesting. What's going on with NASA tomorrow?
NASA announced this morning that they are giving a press briefing at 2 p.m. It's going to be airing live on NASA television, which is, you can access that on their website. And it's going to be, quote, in light of new information coming from NASA's Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory, which is their stereo satellite, spacecraft and other NASA probes that have been out there. When I read the story, they are hyping up the whole solar flare. The sun is now going to be getting more active. We've had quite a few M flares. We had an X flare a couple weeks ago. So I find that interesting, along with the fact that Comet Elenin is supposed to be coming back around the sun now in the next week or so. So there's your comet. I mean, is Comet Elenin even real? They've been showing some pretty fuzzy pictures that they've been getting with the SOHO satellite, but
and look how hyped up and how fearful the Comet Elenin crowd gets. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing anybody. Okay. I don't know if it does or not. What I'm saying is feeding into this fear hype and going, oh, and creating this frenzy is what they want. They want you to be frenzied up. They don't want you to think. They want you to be scared so they can go, come here, my children. I will take care of you. Screw that. I don't trust the government. I used to work for them. I know better than that, okay? I'm not dumb. And that's why, I've had some people say, well, why should I believe you? Because, I'm sorry. Maybe if I had a degree that would make me more believable. No, retard. I have a degree from the College of Life. I couldn't afford to go to college. Therefore, I didn't want to put myself in debt for something that I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I learned how to work with my two hands. I put myself through trade school. And then after 9/11, I joined the military, okay, which is college for poor kids. That doesn't mean I'm stupid by any means. I educated myself. I have more books than most professors I know. I've read hundreds upon hundreds of books. On a monthly basis, I probably go through about 20 to 30 different books. That's why you guys have heard me talk about reading books and how much I love them and everything on air. So it doesn't mean that I'm retarded just because I don't have a college degree. Okay, I've experienced more with my pinky finger than most people have in their lives, and I'm not patting myself on the back. But that's where I come to you from, with this knowledge and understanding of things, because I want you to be on the same level with me. Okay, I want you to understand things and see them as I see them, because I can see things a wider. It's like if you look at something, right, and you have blinders on, you can only see what you can't see on either side. You only see what's straight ahead of you. But I come along and I smack those blinders away, and you go, oh, holy crap, look at everything around me. That's what I want. That's what I'm trying to do. So that's why you should believe what I say and listen to me. And, I'm not saying believe me 100% either. I want you to go do your research. Don't just say, well, Popeye said it, so it must be true. No, go research it. I don't say things on air that can't be researched very easily. Okay? Why would I say something on air to make myself look like an ass? I wouldn't do that, because then you would lose respect for me and say, well, I don't trust him anymore. So wouldn't that be counterproductive? Yes, it would be. I don't do that sort of thing. Maybe some radio show hosts do, but that's not my shtick. That's not how I roll. I come to you straightforward. So take what I'm saying to at least be somewhat true and run with it. If you still feel that you don't believe it, well, that's your opinion. I'm not forcing you to believe anything. I don't want to force anything on anybody. I want people to do it themselves, okay? But at least take the time to research it. For yourself. If not for anybody else, for yourself. This is not about me. I don't get paid. Jimmy X doesn't give me money to come on here and talk to you guys. This is all volunteer. Okay? I spend this much time coming on here, as do every other host on this network and other networks like Oracle. None of us get paid. We do this because we want to make a difference. Okay? That's how we fight the fear vibration. We fight it with love and knowledge and power and light. And that's what it's all about. Okay? So yes, there is going to be solar flare activity. Like Jules said, are they hyping it to scare the crap out of you? Who knows? I mean, our electrical grid is overtaxed anyway, so it is a good point to say that if there is a solar flare, we could have a lot of technical difficulties. That just shows that we have weaknesses. But rather than fix that, Jesuit Panetta wants to keep bombing the crap out of brown people. Because that's what we do best. Right, Jules?
Right. And I mean, it's not like we haven't known that our grid is fragile for a long time, you know? I mean, why haven't we fixed this before now?
Order out of chaos. First you create the chaos, and then you come along with the order. Once the electrical grid fails, they can say, well, we've got these relocation camps where everything will be fine. Because outside the walls, it's very scary. Whoa. I mean, this is a probability. This is something that could happen. I'm not saying it is going to happen. Again, I'm not trying to scare people. When I come on and tell you guys stuff, it's to give you empowerment, and knowledge. What you do with that knowledge, that light that I give you, is your decision. All I tell you is don't fear. Fear isn't going to solve anything. It doesn't matter at all. Fear is I understand if there was a comet coming right towards the planet, freaking out and being afraid is not going to solve anything. Let's put our heads together and try to solve the problem. Let's think. Think. Do not use the fight or flight. Do not get pushed into the corner and feel that you have to be a coward. No fear. Remember the litany of fear. I've read it to you guys before. Go Google the litany of fear. I have it tattooed on my body, for Christ's sake. I'm telling you, it works. In times when you're scared, when your back's against the wall, you recite that. The universe works on two frequencies, fear and love. Fear is a very low woo frequency, and love's a very high-pitched, fast vibration. It's packed full of energy, light, and self-empowerment. And fear tries to keep you in that low, woo, be afraid, woo, be afraid. Well, F fear and F the New World Order, okay? Stand up and say, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. Guys, I'm out of time. Thanks for hanging out and listening. Jules, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for everything you and your husband do for the network.
Thanks, Pepe.
I'll see you guys on Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and coming soon in September, from what I understand, the second week will be going to midnight. And look for a new show on Mondays called Manic Monday.
Team, we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen, believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up...
behind the Orion Talk Radio Network website. So because the website that you guys are on right now, the Flash player you're listening to this on, you know, everything that you see, she is responsible for. So I'd like to give a standing ovation to my good friend Jules. Hi, Jules.
Hi, Popeye. How you doing?
Good. How you been?
Oh, great.
So I contacted you the other day, and you and I were discussing this, and we were going back and forth, and you were showing me what you had found, and I was showing you what I had found, and it's really freaky and creepy to see how the mainstream media is actually playing this up right along with, you know, the Discovery Channel and the History Channel and the Military Channel. They're all been playing all these alien invasion stuff, and you know, TLC, all this stuff. So
yeah, they sure have.
They're pushing something out. They're obviously pushing for us to. They're prepping us for something. Now, when you go look back. And you, in fact, in the chat room, I placed a couple videos for the people to the people to be able to read and look at, or I shouldn't say read, I should say listen to and look at. And then there's corresponding stuff that you can look up and go read articles and stuff on the internet that are related to the videos that I put up. 2 of the videos are the mainstream media talking about it and hyping an alien invasion, and the third one is a video that I did. And it shows you the MSNBC clip with Michio Kaku that you probably won't find anywhere else. Not many places, anyway. Not many in the alternative media want to discuss what I'm going to discuss tonight. And I can understand some of them, the trepidation behind it, because they don't want people to use that as ridicule and say, ha, 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 see, and point and laugh. But because of current events and things that are going on, it's an issue that must be talked about. So tonight I will be discussing Project Bluebeam, the fake alien invasion planned by the New World Order, and I will be discussing, there will be UFO discussion in there. So tonight's topic is not going to be, ooh, I think little green men came down and, you know, did this or did that, or I got abducted, none of that crap. Where I'm going to talk to you seriously about a plan that exists, and I'm going to show you all the hype and all the stuff that they've been putting in the media talking about this, because they've been hyping it and hyping it and hyping it. And it's been talked about before, okay? The late Werner von Braun mentioned this, and I'll get into that. Joining me tonight, many of you know. If you don't, you'll get to know her today. But many of you already know her. She hangs out on Jimmy's show, and she and her husband are the strength and backbone, which many people know who Michio Kaku is. He's that theoretical physicist that they always have on to talk about everything from dead birds to Fukushima to alien invasions and everything else. So, long story short, he went on and he was hyping with MSNBC the whole alien invasion thing. So in it, he was pushing his own show, but he was really pushing the whole alien invasion. And then the next day, CNN comes out with Paul Krugman, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, saying that to fix the economy, the government should fake an alien invasion, and then after like 18 months say, hey, we were wrong, which I'll play the clip for you, okay? And then next day, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow's talking about it. And while this is going on, Discovery has a special on how we're going to get invaded and how the aliens would attack us, and they would cause tidal waves and wipe out people, and then they would use bioweapons to finish us off. There would never be like a boots on the ground. You know, there might be some boots on the ground, but to finish us off, it wouldn't be a foot-to-foot battle. And then Michio Kaku says on MSNBC that we would be overwhelmed within the first 9 minutes of and that's something they expand on in the Discovery special, that we would be overwhelmed because there are so many millions of years ahead of us and technology and everything else. And they're pushing it that, hey, it's going to happen. Now, if you read
all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Welcome to the show, guys. It is Wednesday, August 17th, 2011. This is Down the Rabbit Hole, and I'm your host, Popeye from FederalJack.com. Thanks for hanging with me tonight. And tonight I've got a show